The alien starship Verentel drifted through the cold darkness of space. Its engines weak, and its lights flickering like dying fireflies. Captain Vorak stood on the command deck, his hands shaking. Something enormous had followed them from the nebula, something the scanners could not fully see. Only a shape, a shadow. Moving silently behind them, every few minutes, a deep vibration rolled through the ship's hull, as if the creature was testing the metal with invisible claws. The alien crew exchanged terrified looks. Whatever hunted them was patient. It knew they were too damaged to escape. Vurak's voice cracked. "Send the SOS. Any channel. Any frequency. Someone must hear us." The communication officer typed fast, her fingers trembling. A bright signal wave shot into the starfield. "Signal sent, Captain." For a moment, relief washed through the room until the officer suddenly froze. Her eyes widened. "Captain, there is a problem." Vorak turned slowly. "What problem?" "The navigation database. It is outdated. The distress signal didn't go to the nearby sectors." She swallowed hard. "It went to Sector 9. The entire bridge fell silent. Sector 9 was avoided by every civilized species. It was home to one kind of being: dangerous, unpredictable, unstoppable, humanity, the Deathworlders." Vorak felt his heart drop. No, this cannot be. Cancel it. Stop the signal." "It cannot be stopped," the officer whispered. "They already received it." Fear washed over the crew like cold water. Even the creature outside seemed to pause in the void, as if it sensed a new predator entering the game. Thousands of light years away. Terran Command detected the SOS. Warning, sirens erupted. Battle systems activated. A message flashed across human screens. Distress signal received. Unknown species in Dianji. The Deathworlder fleet began to assemble, and humans never ignored a call for help. Across the vast darkness of space, far from the alien ship, alarms echoed through Terran Command headquarters. The SOS signal flashed across every main screen, encrypted, foreign, and clearly desperate. Human officers stood frozen for only a moment before training took over. Admiral Serena Holt stepped forward, her expression sharp as steel. "Unknown species in distress. Coordinates locked. Prepare the fleet." Her voice echoed across the command deck, and instantly the atmosphere changed. Engineers ran to stations, armored soldiers marched to dropships, and ship captains activated launch protocols. Humans were famous for one thing: they never ignored a cry for help. But the galaxy misunderstood this. They believed humans responded because they loved war. The truth was different. Humans responded because they refused to let anyone die alone. In orbit above Earth, colossal ships awakened. Gigantic engines roared to life. The flagship TDS Vengeance activated its shields with a thunderous hum. Thousands of drones flew across the launch platforms, checking hull plates and weapon systems. Admiral Holt stared at the incoming data. The SOS was from a small alien vesselant, known biology, unknown culture, unknown technology. But one detail bothered her. The signal was sent at maximum emergency level, she murmured. "Something dangerous is out there." Captain Rourke stepped beside her. "Do you think it's a trap?" Holt shook her head. "If it is, they will regret it." A deep alarm sounded. The fleet was ready. One by one, the massive Terran warships positioned themselves in a formation so precise, it looked like a steel wall stretching across space. "Open FTL windows," Holt ordered. Blue rifts tore open like glowing wounds in the void. "Launch the Deathworlder fleet." In seconds, humanity vanished into faster than light, travel racing toward the aliens who had accidentally asked them for help. They did not know they were about to change a species' destiny forever. On the damaged alien ship Verentel, fear spread like cold fire. Captain Vorak and his crew watched the star map update as a massive energy disturbance appeared at the edge of their system. It was not the creature. It was something worse. "Captain," the navigation officer whispered. "Multiple FTL signatures. Very large. Very fast." Vorak's heart pounded. "Identify them." The screen scanned the incoming forces. Then it displayed a symbol every species feared. A blue circle with a white fank, the Terran fleet. Crest, gasps filled the bridge. Someone dropped their tools. Someone else began quietly praying. "We are doomed," a crew member whispered. "Deathworlders are coming." Vorak closed his eyes. He had heard the stories humans who fought monsters for sport, humans who survived toxic jungles, humans who built warships larger than cities. They were heroes to some, nightmares to others. And we called them here. His voice cracked. The communication officer's hands shook. "Captain, if they think we tricked them, they might destroy us." "Prepare a surrender message," Vorak ordered. "We will show no resistance. Maybe they will show mercy." Before the message could be sent, the ship shook violently. The creature returned. Its shadow glided across their hull, bigger, closer, hungrier. Alarms screamed as claws scraped the outer metal. The crew braced themselves, certain death had finally arrived. But then, everything stopped. A bright blue flash lit up the edges of the star system. Space itself seemed to split open. The creature hissed and retreated into the darkness, sensing a threat greater than itself. Vorak stared at the sensors. They are here. Dozens of massive Terran warships dropped out of FTL, blocking the stars with their size. Their hulls glowed with power, and their weapons hummed like angry storms. The Deathworlders had arrived, and the aliens were certain their end was near. The Varintel drifted in the shadow of a colossal Terran warship. The TDS Vengeance, the size of the ship alone was enough to swallow the alien vessel whole. Massive engines thrummed like the heartbeat of a predator, and the sleek hull gleamed with cold. Terrifying precision, Vorak stood frozen at the command console, his heart in his throat. The creature that had hunted them now, lurking in the distance, seemed like a distant nightmare compared to what was now before them. The humans were here. We are nothing compared to them. The communication officer whispered, her voice thick with dread. Vorak nodded grimly, prepared to send the surrender message. Before he could finish, a voice echoed through the bridge. "This is Admiral Serena Holt of the Terran Dominion. We have received your distress signal." The voice was calm, but it carried an undeniable power. There was no fear in her words, only certainty. Certainty that she was in control. "We are here to assist." The voice continued. "Stand down, and we will help you. Resist, and you will find yourselves at war with humanity." The words sank into the hearts of the alien crew like ice. A Terran shuttle detached from the Vengeance and moved toward them, glowing with an eerie blue light. It approached slowly, silently. The space between the two ships seemed to stretch. The tension in the air thickening with every passing second. The crew of the Varintel stared in horror. Humans were not here to destroy them, not yet, but the sheer power they exuded was overwhelming. The humans were offering a chance to surrender, but how could they trust that mercy wasn't a trap? The shuttle docked with a soft thud dot, and then, the Terran voice spoke again. "Prepare for your rescue. But remember, no one has ever fooled humanity." Inside the Terran shuttle, Captain Vorak's mind raced. He stared at the glowing figure of Admiral Serena Holt on the screen. Standing tall in her uniform, unmoving as the space around them seemed to vibrate with power. The Terran fleet was a wall of silent giants, waiting for a single word to unleash their deadly might. But the real horror had not yet shown itself. "You've done well to survive," Admiral Holt's voice echoed in the quiet of the alien bridge. "But you're not safe yet." Vorak's heart skipped. "What do you mean?" A deep silence fell over the command deck. Even the crew had stopped breathing. "The signal you sent," Holt continued. "It didn't just call for help. It drew the attention of something much worse." Vorak froze. His mind raced back to the creature, the shadow that had stalked them. He thought it was the worst they'd face. Holt's face grew darker, and her eyes hardened. It reached a predator species, a galaxy-eating terror that feeds on anything it can catch. The crew's panic flared up again. "Are you telling us that, that thing was just the beginning?" Vorak asked, voice trembling. The screen flickered. Holt's expression hardened. "It's already coming. The scorned ones. They've awakened, and they will not stop. You've drawn them to this system. The only reason you're still alive is because humanity is here." Outside the ship, the stars darkened. Something massive passed through the void. It wasn't a ship, it was something far worse. Something ancient. The crew's eyes widened in terror. The Scorned Ones were here, and the Deathworlders were about to show them why humans were the most terrifying species in the galaxy. The Scorned Ones emerged from the void like an ancient nightmare, their massive ships blotting out the stars. The space around them seemed to bend, and the air crackled with a predatory energy. Their ships were not sleek or graceful like the Terran warships. They were monstrous, jagged, and filled with a terrifying, chaotic force like the galaxy itself had decided to make them nightmares made real. The crew of the Varintel could barely breathe, the fear almost choking them. Vorok knew the legends. These creatures were the stuff of horror stories devouring whole civilizations without a second thought. But the humans, they were different. They were the galaxy's answer to terror. As the Scorned Ones charged forward, ready to destroy everything in their path, the Terran fleet moved into position. Admiral Holt's voice came through the communication line once again. "Listen up. We're not here to negotiate. We're here to end this." Suddenly, the TDS Vengeance and its fleet powered up their massive weapons. Bright blue beams shot into space, cutting through the darkness. The Scorned Ones barely had time to react before the Terran weapons ripped into their ships. Explosions filled space, the shockwaves shaking the stars. On the Varintel, Vurik's eyes widened. The humans were unstoppable. They moved with precision and speed, their ships acting like well-oiled machines. Every shot was calculated, every move executed with flawless timing. Humanity was showing no mercy, and it was clear why the galaxy feared them. The Scorned Ones tried to retaliate, but they were outmatched. Their ships twisted in agony as human weapons hit their weak points. In moments, the massive Predator fleet was on the verge of collapse. Their ships burning and breaking apart in the cold void. The humans had saved them, but at what cost? Vorak realized the truth. No one should ever mistake humanity for weakness. And the galaxy would never forget this day.